back to my channel. I thought it'd be finally time to do another 24-hour readathon. So we've done this before. This isn't new to me, this is not new to this channel, but it is currently 11:19 in the morning, and we're going to start the readathon at about 11:30, and then I'm going to read all the way until 11:30 tomorrow. There's obviously multiple ways to do these readathons, but I prefer just setting the time of 24 hours, not taking any breaks if I can help it, and just reading all the way through and just seeing how much I can actually read in that time. I think my record is 6 books. I think the last readathon we did, I read, I think it was 4 books and 2 graphic novels, 6 books. But obviously we are here to see how many we can read now. And I'm going to tell you this now, I booked 2 days of annual leave for this vlog, for this readathon. So it better be worth it and we better get some reading done. Obviously my reading has definitely slowed down recently, and on Goodreads, when you can check your Goodreads goal, I've always been like 10 books ahead, 6 books ahead. I've never been on track. I don't accept on track. I need to be ahead. I need to be ahead of the game. Otherwise I start going into a spiral, and I'm currently on track. So I'm hoping in this video to read a good few books over the next 24 hours and just see how many we can read and get ahead of that Goodreads goal. And I am just going to give you a little bit of a trigger warning. I am going to progressively look worse and worse and worse throughout this readathon. We're looking at like the 5 AM mark. I'm gonna look crusty, I'm gonna look disgusting, I'm gonna just, my eyes are gonna be puffy as hell. So just a little fair warning for you before we actually get into this challenge. Watch at your own risk, viewer discretion is advised. I've literally just filmed earlier on today a book unboxing of like all of these books, so I have lots of books to choose from. I obviously also have my TBR from my video, so I'm hoping to get mostly of that pile done, but I am a mood reader, so we have lots to choose from over here. Set alarm for 4 AM.
Alarm set for 4 AM tomorrow.
That's just in case I fall asleep. So the book that I'm going to start with is, I'm going to start off easy, guys. Okay, this is probably a book that I should be saving for around like 2 AM when I'm really, really tired. But I think I'm going to start with it because it will give me the motivation to read on and finish more books. So I have Ashley Poston's With Any Luck novella short story thing here. I've loved these over the last couple of months. They're all centered around Valentine's Day and love and romance, and they're all about meet cute. I think it's called the Meet Cute series, something like that. And it just centers around people meeting each other in cute ways, believe it or not. So I think I'm going to start with this. I think it literally is around 40 to 50 pages. I think it will be a nice easy start to the readathon. I'll be able to finish a book within the first hour. It's 11:27 and I said I was going to start at past, so I'm going to get comfy. I've made myself a drink and we're gonna start soon. I'm terrified. Let's go. The time is 11:58, so it's actually only been half an hour and I've already finished the first little novella. I told you I'd read it quick, and that has definitely worked. It's given me the motivation to read another book. So I'm going to leave my Kindle for a little bit, give it a little rest, and then probably pick it up later. I do prefer reading my Kindle late at night because it's just so convenient and just so lightweight and stuff, so that will be for later. And I think I want to read a physical copy of The Summer Girl by Elle Kennedy. This book's been on my TBR since August last year. I think I got it for my birthday, but I got it late, and I started, I think I got around 20 pages in at the end of August, but I wanted like more autumn vibes at that point, so I did stop reading it. But now obviously the weather's getting really, really nice again, so I want to read this, which is exciting. And I am going to start again. I'm not going to start from the 20 pages that I got in because I don't remember much of it at all. But yeah, I'm going to start that now. It is currently 11:59. We have 23 hours and 30 seconds left on, no we don't. We have 23 hours, 30 minutes and 20 seconds left on our timer. On to the second book, let's go. So we're officially an hour and 2 minutes down. It is currently 12:31, so we've done an hour already, and I read 45 pages of the first novella and 31 pages of this. So that puts my reading at an average probably around a page a minute. But I'm already starting to feel tired. My eyes are already hurting and we're only an hour in. But I am enjoying this book. I've officially read further into it than I read before. I remembered more than I thought I did actually, but yeah, really liking it so far. Nothing crazy, and happy to be into this world again because this is actually the third book in the Avalon Bay series, and I've read the other two in videos, so it makes sense for me to read this one in a video as well, so perfect. And it's on this month's TBR, so we are being very productive right now. Why is my hair in my face? That needs to go up soon, guys. Everything's stressing me out. I've actually come and sat outside because sitting in bed just wasn't working for me. I think that being in the place that you sleep just is not a good decision. So I'm gonna just read outside. I'm gonna stay outside or just out of my bed in general for as long as humanly possible, because I think that is probably the best way for me to be successful in this readathon. So I'm gonna carry on reading. Quite slowly, but when I did my last, not my last readathon, the one before that in summer, the book that I read second, I think it was, when I read The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams, I read it around this time. It was like in the early afternoon, and it was the book that took me the longest last time. So I don't know what it is about this specific time in readathons, but I tend to read slower in the early afternoon. I think in the evening I might get to reading a little bit faster again. It might depend on the book as well. Like this book, it is fast paced and it is interesting and I'm loving it, but because it is that light summer kind of romance vibe, it just tends to just sort of stay at a steady pace. There's no highs, there's no lows and stuff like that. So I think that's might be why I'm reading it a little bit slow. I mean, I'm still on page 125, but it's been how many hours? Half 11, half 12, half 1, half 2. It's been 3 hours. Obviously I started this, but I've been reading this for about 2.5 hours and I'm on page 125. Like, I suppose that is sort of around the time that I should be and where I should be at, but I don't know, it just feels like I'm reading it slowly, even though I'm not. This is probably normal. I don't know, it just feels like I've got a lot left and it feels like I've been reading it for ages. It's going so quickly, which is good. But later on, I'm going to feel like it's going to drag, I already know. Back up in my room now, and we have just over 18 hours left on the timer. And I've got 100 pages left of this book. Obviously, I said earlier how I was reading this book really, really slowly. But when I look at it, I mean, yes, it's been just over 5 hours. And I'm still reading this book, but it normally takes me, if I work it out as like a page a minute, it should take me around 6 hours to read a book like this anyway. The first half of a book always seems like the longer part, and the last part of a book is always quicker, which makes no sense because half and half is the same amount, but the second half of a book is quicker. You heard it here first. That is just a rule. I am absolutely starving, so I think I'm gonna order some food in when I've got like around 30 to 40 pages left. That way it will arrive around the same time as I finish this book. On page 299 now, so around 85 pages to go. Not long. I ordered myself some Mackie D's, but I still have around 20 pages left of this book. It came really, really fast, which is the first time ever. The one time I want to finish my book before it comes really quick, but that's a revelation. I'm going to attempt to eat while I read this. If not, I'm going to very quickly eat and then we will see. We will see what happens. If not, I'll be finishing this book very soon. I've just finished the book, finally. It feels like it took me ages, but obviously, as I said, I started it at 12. That took me 7 hours. Why was I reading that so slowly? The book has been finished, but now it is obviously time to pick our next one. I really just don't know what I want to choose. I'm going to have a look and see what we've got. It is currently 7:05 in the evening and we have 16 hours and 25 minutes left on our timer. But obviously because The Summer Girl just took me ages to read, I want something a little bit quicker and a little bit easier. Weirdly, please don't judge, I randomly fancy reading a Jacqueline Wilson book. I recently reread one of my favourite books by her, The Suitcase Kid, and I just felt really nostalgic when reading it. I just really thoroughly enjoyed being back in that world, and I loved it as a kid. I reread it multiple times as a kid, but that one is very diddy and very, very short. But these two, I remember starting them, but I can't remember finishing them, and I have no concept about any of these books. So we have The Diamond Girls and we have Kiss. I'm thinking I'm probably a little bit more drawn to The Diamond Girls. Oh my god, it's got an old bookmark in it from when I was a kid. Look at that. That is so cute. I never even knew that existed. Well, there you go. Now we've got a bookmark. I want to do a little check-in because I'm now currently halfway through The Diamond Girls. We have 14 hours, 20 minutes left on the clock. It is currently 9:09 p.m. and I don't know, I feel like I'm reading slowly, but then I also think I'm not reading that slow. I think because I'm just so concentrating on the book and I'm not really concentrating on what I'm actually doing, it seems like I'm reading slower even though I'm not. But I'm on page 115 and it's only like 200 and something pages. I'm enjoying it as much as I can enjoy a children's book. It is one for like more older children, like early teenagers, between probably the ages of like 11 and 14 I would put this book at. I'm not 100% sure. I'm so near the end of this book now. I'm on page 172 and I think it's got like 230 pages, but it is the most repetitive thing I have ever read in my life. Obviously, I can't really judge it because it literally is a book for children. And there's me, my 21-year-old self, reading it. But it is very repetitive. The actual story is quite mature and like everything that it focuses around is quite mature. And obviously the writing is going to be a little bit more simple because it is for kids. But I feel like I've just read the same 50 pages over and over and over again. And it's not motivating me to carry on at all. What's the time?
It's 10:15 p.m.
10:15. I thought she was going to say 10:50. I might start a book on my Kindle because holding a hardback and holding physical copies, I'm just bored of it now. I don't want to do it again. I can't do this again. I'm going to finish this book. I have finished The Diamond Girls. We're 11.5 hours in and we have 12.5 hours to go. That's better. Okay, so I've got changed and I was really thinking about reading a book on my Kindle, but I'm kind of in the mood for one very specific book, and that is Those People Next Door by Kia Abdullah. This is one of the books that I bought in Waterstones recently and I saw it on the counter. My sister-in-law actually said, "Oh my god, Ella, that's only £1. You should get it." And I was like, why not? I literally couldn't go wrong with it. It was £1. So I'm kind of in the mood to spice things up a little bit and do a little switcheroo of a genre, a complete 180, and read a thriller. I'm on page 64 and I'm really bored of this book. It's not that it's even bad, like it is fast paced because of how short it is. Like they've got to pack a whole story into like 120 pages, but I don't know. Nothing about this book is making me want to read on. Finish the book. It's coffee time. I've literally just finished a I've literally just finished a thriller and I've come downstairs to make drinks at 1 AM by myself. I'm a little bit terrified, I can't lie. Debating what I want to read next, but I think the smartest decision that I can make right now is to read this, which is By the Book by Jasmine Guillory. This has been on my TBR for I think since my birthday last year, so July last year, and I've been intrigued by it actually since I got it for my birthday. It's just been one of them ones where I've just been meaning to get to it for a really long time, and it's just been sat on my TBR, and it's been on my monthly TBR for 2 months now, for February. Oh my god, 3 months now. But my only problem is I'm getting to that point of tiredness now where I need a Kindle book. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little browse on my Kindle, see what's there, and if I find absolutely nothing, I'll read that. I don't know. Ow, I just smacked the straw against my tooth. I'm going to be honest, I've been sat here for the past just over 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe, trying to find a book on Kindle Unlimited that I want to read. And I did find a couple. I had like a couple candidates for it, but nothing that's like screaming out to me like, you need to read this right now. I don't know what to read and I don't know what to do. It is nearly 2 in the morning. This is where the delirium starts coming in. Just a little bit. What am I supposed to do? I know exactly what I want as well. I want something quick. I want something easy. Do you know what I want? I want Night Shift by Annie Crown, but I've already read it, so I need it again but different. But those vibes. That is exactly what I want. Like a college sports romance. I'm just sat here staring at every book in this room. Okay, so I've just remembered that I had this book on my physical TBR, which is First Down by Grace Riley, and it is a sports romance, and it's on Kindle Unlimited, and it's under 300 pages on the Kindle. Is that not exactly what I just described? I am, however, going to be reading it for now on my Kindle, but I'm happy. I'm going to see how it goes. Oh my god, my battery's flashing. Need to change it. I'm on chapter 4. And I've been introduced to 2 men, one called Daryl and one called Barry. Am I reading about middle-aged people right now, or am I reading a college romance? Daryl and Barry. I'm not going to begrudge you if they're your names. What's happening? Also, I've made the mistake of laying down. Bad decision. I've read the first, I think 6 chapters of First Down, and it's just so weirdly familiar to me. I feel like I've read this before. I haven't read this book. It's very, very similar to something, and I can't pinpoint what book it is. They go to a party in like the first couple of chapters. They end up kissing or making out or flirting or something, and then they end up in a class together the next day and they write notes to each other. That's just happened in this, but I promise you now that I've read that before. The one book that's like in my mind is The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. I don't know, I'm literally going to find The Mistake on my Kindle to see the difference. Is it true, or is it that it's 3 o'clock in the morning? I'm literally skimming The Mistake right now. I think I'm mixing like 5 books together in my head right now. If it's not The Mistake, is it not The Deal, the first one? I don't know. I can hear noises outside my house. I can hear noises. And it's 3 AM. Oh, I'm not getting involved. Send help, please. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I just wanted to let you know that this is how tall my new tripod goes. It's taller than me. I'm so tired. I can't cope. I actually just want to go to sleep. My eyelids feel like they've got elephants on them or something. My eyes are slowly shutting down. It's 4 AM. I'm really struggling. I just want to call it quits. I'm really not in the mood to read anymore. But then I've still got like 7.5 hours to go. That's a long time. Guys, Taylor Swift's new album has just come out. Well, not just. It came out at 5 AM, which obviously we were awake for. But I completely forgot about it till now. I've just checked my phone because I'm listening to the audiobook of First Down. And, oh my god, the Tortured Poets Department has come out. I'm gonna have like a 30-second break to listen to the first song. Not all of it, just a little bit of it. I was supposed to be sent away, but I am gonna love this album. Once this readathon's over, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna sit and listen to that album in its entirety. I can't believe I've actually refrained myself. I can't believe I forgot about it. Obviously, as I was just saying, I have 4 hours and 40 minutes left on our 24-hour timer, and I have been listening to First Down as an audiobook. I didn't really mention it when I started it because I was just so tired, and I thought the only thing that's going to actually salvage my own sanity and salvage my own eyelids and just tiredness in general is the audiobook. But I know that audiobooks to me does count as reading. I count it as reading. I think anyone that doesn't, I think it's just a little bit silly because you're still consuming the book. Fair enough, it's not as time consuming as actually sitting down with the book, but it still counts. You've still consumed the book in some way. Anyway, that's a rant for another day, don't even get me started. But I have still been following along with the Kindle edition as I've listened to it, because for some reason that's just helped me. It means that I don't have to actually make the effort to read every single individual word, and that's for some reason helping me out. And now I've got a new burst of energy. What's the time? It's 7 in the morning nearly. It's 10 to 7 and I'm just like slaying the day away. This is where my cringy side comes out, and I'm gonna edit it back and just hate myself. But I'm going to carry on listening to this audiobook now and refrain from listening to the Tortured Poets Department because that's all I want to do. I have just finished First Down and I have 4 hours left on the timer. It's currently 7:30 in the morning, and obviously it is time to start our next book. Obviously I have been eyeing this up over the last 24 hours. Or 20 hours even, and it is on my April TBR. I'm yet to get to it, and I think if I don't read it now, I'm probably not going to get around to reading it this month because I've got to start reading for other videos. Oh my god, the font's quite small. All I want right now is another Kindle book, or a book on my physical TBR that I can get on my Kindle like I just did with First Down. This is where my life starts to get a bit stressful. Why don't I just end it here, guys? Thanks for watching. I don't want to do the last 4 hours of this readathon. I've read the first 2 pages of both. Actually, I read the first sentence of both, and they're both third person. I am not doing that at 7 o'clock in the morning. It is so much harder to read in third person. No way. Back on the TBR cart you go. But now what do I do? Guys, I figured out exactly what I'm meant to be doing right now and exactly what I'm gonna read, hopefully anyway. I just went on TikTok and typed in short stories on Kindle Unlimited because I thought if I can find one that's like 250-ish pages, that will probably tie me over to the end, and then if I do finish it, I can read the last novella in the Improbable Meet Cute series, is what we started this readathon with. And I found a little short story, a little novella if you will, by Lucy Score. It's 226 pages long. So I think I'm gonna get this started now. Never heard of it, I have no idea what it's about, but apparently it does tackle grief, love, all of the emotions, and I'm in a very unstable position right now, being that I have just stayed up for 24 hours. Gotta return something from Kindle Unlimited before I can bloody take it out. Let's see if this is good. It's third person. Why am I being haunted by the third person ghosts today? Do I even bother? I mean, I'll be fine once I get used to it, but I was literally adamant earlier that I wasn't going to read a third person book at this time in the morning. I know I'm being very picky right now, but if I knew about that earlier into the night, like earlier on, that would have been fine. It's not even like I don't want to, I just can't. There's not one bone in my body, not one muscle, not one fibre, not one ligament, not one whatever else we've got going on in there that wants to read a third person book right now. Absolutely not. I've decided what I'm gonna do, finally. I've literally just been sat here scrolling through TikTok this whole entire time, not knowing what I want to read. But I think I'm gonna continue reading a book that I've been currently reading for a video that isn't this video. Because I have nothing else that I want to read. I don't want to force myself to get into a reading slump, and I can take this next however long, 3 and a bit hours, to actually be productive and read for another video. But I'm going to be reading Wild Love by Elsie Silver, which is a new release. Obviously I'm not going to finish it by the time it ends anyway, so I couldn't review it even if I wanted to, because I actually have already started it. I think I'm already 70 to 80 pages in, and then I had to stop reading it to film this video. I have left the physical copy at Riley's though, because obviously, as I said, I've already started it, but I have got it on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm gonna get rid of this third person shenanigans and read a little Elsie Silver smutty romance. Praise the Lord himself that that's finished. I literally feel like I need to just go and scrub my face. So, I did not let it defeat me. This is, I think, the 4th time I'm doing a 24-hour readathon, and I don't think I failed once. I've been very close to failing and probably fallen asleep for like 5 minutes and then woken myself back up. But your girl can do 24-hour readathons. If there's one thing that you can guarantee on this channel, if there is one thing you're going to get out of this video, it's that Ella Rose can do readathons. But we did manage to read 5 books and start a 6th book in the readathon today. The last 24 hours have been an absolute fever dream, so I'm just going to give you a very quick wrap up rating and stuff like that of everything that I read. So obviously we started with, I can't even remember what it's called, With Any Luck, the Improbable Meet Cute collection. That was I think book number 5 of that series. I think earlier in the video I said it was book 4, but it was book number 5, and I think that was around like 40 pages long. It definitely wasn't my favourite short story out of the series. I think my favourite one was the second one, which is the Abby Jimenez one. Love Abby Jimenez, but for what it was, for a 40-page novella, it was okay. Found myself cringing a little bit because the whole premise behind the book is that her surname is Love, but she can't find love, and she meets someone with the surname Luck. And the whole premise of that, like, it felt just a little bit immature and childish to me. I think I'm gonna rate that one like a 2-star. Wasn't anything crazy. And then I went on to The Summer Girl by Elle Kennedy. This book, I actually thoroughly really enjoyed. It did take me the longest to read. I think it took me around 7 hours. It just goes to show that tiredness and your state of mind and stuff can really, what's the word I'm thinking of, determine how fast you read. I actually really like this book. I've been excited for the characters, or for the main male character, since I read the first book, and he did not disappoint. I found myself giggling, kicking my feet a little bit. I was like blushing at times. So for that, I'm gonna rate it a 4-star. I then read The Diamond Girls by Jacqueline Wilson. This one was like, I was very unsure of what I was gonna think, because it is a YA younger reader book. I really wasn't sure whether I was actually going to really like it or not. Again, this one did make me cringe a little bit, but I'm not going to put it down to the fact that it was a bad book. It is for children, so obviously it's going to be cringy just a tad. But I will say it does focus on some harder topics. It focuses on social class, focuses on bullying and stuff like that. And I feel like the reason I was cringing just that little bit with this is because I don't have any siblings. So this book focuses on Dixie and her 4 or 5 siblings, and then a new baby that comes along, and her mum's a single parent. She has to navigate all of her children. They've all got different dads and stuff like that, so it's chaos in their house. The siblings would just argue, fight with each other, and just, it was chaos is the only word I can describe. But because I've never had a sibling, I didn't relate to it like that. I've just grown up on my own, which has been blissful, I will say. I would say like a 3.5. Like, it was a solid book. It just it's for children. I need to go to bed. So I described this book as a thriller when I first started reading it because it just gave me those vibes. But it definitely was not a thriller, it was more of a mystery, which I know the two have very overlapping themes. The lines can get a little bit blurry between them, but there was absolutely nothing thrilling about this book. It simply was just weird stuff started happening in the neighbourhood between the two houses, and it was sort of like a fight to find out what was happening. So nothing crazy. And again, I think this is like a very, 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 very cut down version of this book, because you actually can buy this book in its full like 400-page paperback. I did find myself reading it as if it was written by like ChatGPT or whatever it's called. What's that AI thing called? It felt like it was written by AI because the chapters weren't very full with information. It was very quick, very snappy, very fast paced, which was good. But I feel like the chapters just all ended off in the same sort of way. Like, the way it was written had the exact same format per chapter, and I just sort of felt like I was reading the same thing over and over again. And I don't know, the ending was weird, it wasn't great, but I think if I read the full book with all the detail and the gore and the actual nitty-gritty stuff behind it, I think I probably would have enjoyed it even more. So based off of this 130-page paperback, I will probably again rate it like a 2-star. Then we read First Down, which I don't know why I'm holding the paperback. I listened to that bitch as an audiobook, and I read that bitch as a digital copy as well. I didn't even touch this paperback. I touched it. Oh, someone's nearly had an accident outside my house. Okay, they're fine. I literally looked at it once to look at what the main characters look like because she got described as blonde hair, and I was like, no. Now, this book was going very, very well for me, and I thoroughly did enjoy it. Considering I was reading it at like 4 to like 7ish AM, I don't even know. Considering I was reading it at that time, which is normally my worst times in readathons, I really thought it was going to go downhill. I thought I was going to fall asleep, and don't get me wrong, I did definitely get absolutely knackered while reading it and listening to it, but I really enjoyed it and I was immersed in the story. I liked the characters, and I do want to definitely carry on with the series. The one teeny tiny little thing that took it away from me a little bit was the epilogue, which sounds very fussy, I know, but the epilogue, it ended on such a beautiful little note. Everything's, you know, well and dandy, and then the epilogue starts with smut. It didn't end with smut, so it's good, but it just felt like such an unnecessary chunk of something to just throw in there for the people that like smut. Don't get me wrong, I'm not opposed to reading it, but I don't care for it if it's not in a book. I literally just read a children's book, for goodness sake. Like, I don't care about it at all. But that, and I like it when it's done properly and when it's implemented into the story in a natural way, the characters have a connection and stuff like that. But that, the last little epilogue, just felt like it was just thrown in there for no reason. So I obviously carried on with Wild Love by Elsie Silver for another video. But I'm not going to say anything about this because it is for another video. I don't even know if that video would have gone up by now. If it has, then I'm sorry, I will let you know. But that is everything for today's video. That is everything that I read in today's 24-hour readathon. I have successfully done it again. I know that you guys love these videos. I actually posted something on my story that I was doing a 24-hour readathon, and the amount of messages I got going, these are my favourite videos of yours, I absolutely love this, good luck. Everyone was so supportive, which I'm so thankful for. But now I feel like I need a week to recover and have work on Monday. I'm rotting away, guys, I'm rotting away. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video and if you are one of those people that love my readathons, then thank you so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up, comment down below how many books that you've read if you've ever done a 24-hour readathon, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. If I survive that long to make one, I'm gonna nap for the rest of my life. Love you guys lots, goodbye. I need to stop talking.